Hey guys, Chicky Domain, Deboo.com with a Deboo.com surf forecast update. This forecast update effective around 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, November 15th, 2016. And guys, start you off down here in the Southern Caribbean with newly tagged 90L Invest right in here. This is 80% chance of development next 5 days. Tropical depression likely to form by this weekend, and a good shot at Tropical Storm Otto or Hurricane Otto coming up in the forecast. Here's the current front now that's draped across Florida, and then an area of low pressure down in here towards the Bay of Campeche. That's weak. What we're going to be watching for in the near term is an area of low pressure developing just to the northeast of the central Bahamas and then developing into a gale up in here south of Nova Scotia, east of the Mid-Atlantic. This is reminiscent of that swell that we had from the storm force low last week around the 1st of November. It looks like a repeat performance coming up. Does not appear to be a major swell event at the moment, but mind you, on that last one, it wasn't until 72 hours prior to the real-time event that the NOAA Ocean Prediction Center switched from a gale forecast to a storm force low, and that ended up with some winds of about 50 knots or so, with seas maxing out at around 26 to 28 feet. We're not seeing that at the moment, and the surf alert that we've been advertising on our social feeds may not be for everyone. So please keep in mind, just because it's not breaking at your house doesn't mean that it's not breaking at somebody else's. We'll show you that here in the latest model run here in just a few moments. Just going back to 90L Invest, possible auto down here in the Southern Caribbean. Models had trended. The first initial trend was to lift up over Western Cuba and then out here towards the Bahamas, but then the models have switched now, and it looks like they're trying to trap this down in here. The GFS has been consistent with that, but the Euro model has been consistent in wanting to lift it out of the Caribbean. Last several runs, it's kept it down in here. This afternoon's run showing back on a trend of lifting back over Western Cuba before heading out to sea, possibly heading out to sea. Lots of uncertainty in the forecast. In the near term, here's what this gale looks like that's setting up. This image is for Friday. And so if you remember back a week ago when we started talking about major swell event, that was an area of low pressure that was dropping out of Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is right here, and dropping out of Nova Scotia to about this exact same point. This is a little bit different now, whereas the area of low pressure is going to spin up right in here and then move to this position. Either way, nice northeast fetch setting up, and then the 96-hour NOAA swell forecast. Now, this is just out, showing some 8 to 10 seconds northeast ground swell developing. Now, we'll have to take a look at the next future runs over the next couple of 2 or 3 days. Could see some 12 to 13 second periods, but if you guys remember with that storm force low about a week ago, we saw 14 to 15 second periods with that. But this is a positive sign. We're going to switch you over to the afternoon run of the 12Z GFS. And there's an area of low pressure over here just off the Cape in here off New England that could provide a little surf alert condition localized event in here over the next 24 to 48 hours as a decent easterly fetch has developed or is going to develop with high pressure out here, which was the other thing that we were going to be watching in this upcoming forecast. A weak area of low pressure that is forecast to dissipate over the next 24 hours or so, but this could provide a nice little bump in here localized up here towards New England. As we advance the model for you, I want you to take note now over here at the high pressure over here in the East Atlantic. That's a decent easterly fetch in here, getting the ocean pushing this way. Now, here's this area of low pressure now that is just northeast of the Bahamas. We're going to advance the model again for you. And as you can see, this gets into a gale right in here, lifts up towards Nova Scotia, and then starts to drop back down. That's this in here going Friday into Saturday. Now, as we get into Saturday and Sunday, we get into a negative swell production as the predominant winds now switch to offshore off the Mid-Atlantic in here. So possible surf alert setting up in here, guys. Again, if it doesn't happen, don't shoot the messenger. Light northerly winds into Florida. Advance the model for you a little bit more. And you can see that a strong offshore flow now develops off the Mid-Atlantic. That's going to kill any swell that's in there and likely go into a little flat phase. But we've got some northerly fetch in here back into Florida. That could give us a little bit of wind swell. We'll advance the model some more for you. This is day 5 and day 6. And if you look down here in the Southern Caribbean, you'll see that 90L invest possible auto down in here is kind of stuck. And we'll advance the model for you a little bit more going into 10 days. High pressure now building in. Possibly some little wind swell waves, nothing really to brag about. It's what's coming off that gale setting up this weekend is what you need to get just in case it does go flat. This comes in at day 8 and 9, moving into day 10 with another area of low pressure moving through New England. This is at day 10, guys. This is Friday, November 25th, and then a nice northerly fetch setting up along from the Outer Banks down in here towards the Bahamas. We won't advance this model any further than 10 days due to uncertainty. Switch you over to the afternoon run of the Euro, and here's where things get a little bit more interesting. Again, looking at the high pressure, this is east-northeast winds in here, pushing the ocean this way. There's that weak area of low pressure. We'll go back to the image just to show you. Here it is right here, that weak area of low pressure. And then as we advance the model, you'll see that the high pressure continues to kind of dig in here, pushing the ocean this way. Here comes that area of low pressure now moving out of the Bahamas up towards Nova Scotia. And then 980 millibar. Now that is a little bit stronger than what the Euro had been showing, and then back to a 992. This is it all in positive swell production here, guys. And then by day 5, strong offshore winds killing whatever swell was there. And then here comes what could be auto at days 6, 7, 8 as a hurricane, 9, and 10. Lifting up towards Cuba. So we could be talking about what could become auto over the next 8 to 10 days. Guys, going to be out of town for the next couple of days. Updates will be via mobile phone. Stay tuned to our social feeds for updates, and stay tuned for the forecast. That's all we got for you for now.